Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Group on YouTube. Today we are going to be talking about AEW All In, but only specifically one match. I feel like everyone's doing obviously their pay-per-view reviews and everything else where they go through and talk about each match and what they enjoyed and what they didn't enjoy. And then people debating whether or not 81,000 were actually in attendance or not, which is ridiculous. But I thought, you know what? I don't want to be like everyone else. And if you've been watching any of my videos, you'll realise I try not to be like everyone else. And I thought, there's only one match I really want to talk about. And it might surprise you, but I want to talk about the AEW Women's Championship match and the fact that Saraya is our new AEW Women's Champion. And I can't tell you how happy I am that that is the case. I mean, going into it, she probably was favourite to win. You know, she's from the UK. And obviously it was a show at Wembley. It's massive. The biggest, obviously, stadium in the UK. So a lot of people did have her pegged as being the favourite to win. But you know what? I'm absolutely made up she has. I don't care that she was the favourite. Like, I thought she'd win. Well, I hope she'd win. Like, she was my pick when we did the predictions on the group. But, you know, it's come like full circle, hasn't it? It's like that dream moment that has happened for Saraya. You know, she'd retired due to neck injury. She retired really young. What was she? 25. You know, that's no career. That is it. You know what I mean? Absolutely no career. She'd been in NXT. She won the NXT Championship. She come up to the main roster. Won the Divas Championship. And you know, it literally felt like not long after then she was out of wrestling. You know what I mean? And in reality, it wasn't that long after. You know, when she got that injury at a house show, and that was it. She was out. And then obviously she's done a retirement speech in 2018. You know, she's done the GM part for a bit, but unfortunately she had to retire, obviously due to her injuries and stuff. And then, you know, she's had a lot of issues and stuff in the past. You know, with obviously everything that's come out about it and you know, the videos and stuff. I'm sure people are aware of the situation, you know. So she's had a rough time of it, and then obviously she finally managed to get clear, and she debuted in AEW. You know, she was offered the chance to go back to WWE, but she debuted in AEW instead. And I've enjoyed the Outcasts. I have. I know they get slated, but you know what? Everyone has their own thing, and I really enjoyed the Outcasts. I love Saraya, absolutely. I think she's fantastic. You know, Tony Storm, again, brilliant. Ruby Soho. I wasn't a big fan of Ruby Riott, I'll be honest. Like, she was just another wrestler when she was in WWE. She really was just sort of just floating by, and I didn't really, because I didn't know of her before WWE. And then obviously they put her in AEW, and started having a few matches obviously before she joined the Outcasts, and it was like, do you know what? She's actually really good, and she is really good in the ring, and she is quite talented. And then obviously they put her with the Outcasts, and I started to watch. Obviously, started to watch it a hell of a lot more. But I love all three of them, and I've made up that they put them together. I'm hoping that they're not going to split them up now, but I can't see any way that they're not going to. Obviously, with what happened at All In with Tony and Saraya going at it. You know, Tony belting Saraya's mum in the face, and then they got into it in the ring. And then at one point, we had Tony that was going to do a hip attack on Saraya when she was in the corner, and obviously Ruby come down to stop it. As she said, you know, she's got a neck injury, you could break her neck if you do that. And then Tony ended up hitting Ruby, who then disappeared off into the back. Just was like, nah, I'm done with you. And off she went into the back. So it'd be interesting to see which way they do it going forward, and considering as well as, you know, Saraya got the victory over Tony, sprayed her with the spray, hit a finisher, got the free. But yeah, it was really good. You know, she come out to We Will Rock You. Do you know what? It wasn't the best match on the card. I'll say that. It wasn't. But it was the best feel good moment for me. I enjoyed that more than I've enjoyed wrestling for a long time. Um, More than I've enjoyed women's wrestling in a long time. Because I do like women's wrestling, but I feel like it goes up and then it goes down, and it is a shame because like there is some really talented women out there that do wrestle, and like I say, Saraya's always been one of my favourites. Um, but yeah, like she come out to We Will Rock You, which was great. She come out with family, which was great. It felt more moments for her than anything else. Coming out with a family and stuff, and it was all about this is your big time. You retired. You weren't never supposed to retire at that age, and then when you did retire, you were never supposed to come back and be at Wembley. You know what I mean? Just all the way things have aligned. She's had a really tough time over the last few years, and then she finally gets the chance to come out and wrestle at Wembley Stadium, especially being someone from the UK. It's a massive, massive deal. And obviously fans in the UK, it's a massive deal for us. Oh yeah, she got that win. And you know what, like like say, we've seen all the stuff that's come out, all the troubles she's had, and with ex-boyfriends and obviously videotapes and everything else. She was drinking quite a bit at one point as well, and she went through a tough time, and she brought herself back. She got herself cleared. She got herself injury free and debuted, and I was made up with the debut. Her first match against Britt, it wasn't phenomenal, but it was a really good, solid return match. I feel like she gets scrutinised more than anyone else that's returned to wrestling, to be honest, and I don't think she was that far behind a lot of them. I don't think anyone was absolutely leaps and bounds ahead of her when they come back. And she obviously got on the microphone, and it'd been different if she'd have gone and come back to WWE, because in WWE all the promos are scripted, and she'd gone from having scripted promos to doing absolutely nothing in regards to that for years, and then comes back, and then she's expected to do her own promos, which obviously it wasn't the best. And then everyone just rips into her online. I just feel like people just need to give her a break, man. And I do feel like this was that moment of all that come together, and it just come out like when she won the belt. And then I have not documented, I have shared many a times in videos, in posts on the wrestling group, in conversations with people, like for whatever reason, like wrestling for me, I love wrestling, I think it's superb, but I've never ever felt, I've never cried over wrestling before. I've never cried over a wrestling match before. Never cried over a winner. Never cried over a loser. Never cried anything to do with wrestling at all, ever. But that's not anything against wrestling. It's the same with football. Like, I'm a mad football fan. I absolutely love football. But I've never cried over a football match. It's just something I don't do. I don't cry over movies and don't cry over TV shows either. It just doesn't happen. I don't know why. It really doesn't. Um, but man, when the free count went, and she was given, and it was announced she was the winner, and she was given the belt, and obviously just before the family all bombarded the ring, and she just broke down, and she in the face. Oh my god, I had tears welling in me. I didn't fully cry, but I had tears right in my eyes, and it was welling up because you could just see like how much it meant to her, like the emotion and the fact that we've all been there, because it's been well documented. Everything's been well documented of what's gone on with it over the years and that. And like say, 25, being told that your dream job's been taken away. Like, I mean, if you watch Fighting With My Family, everyone's seen that film. You know, you see the struggles she goes, like she is there from day one, like I'm going to be a wrestler, you know what I mean? At first it wasn't her dream to become a WWE wrestler. At first it was more her brother's, but then obviously as it progressed, she then fell in love with it, and it was like always a dream of hers from when she was a teenager. And so have that dream job taken away from me at just 25, and then like she's returned, and don't forget she's only 31 now. It's not like she's returning like Trish Stratus, who's like gone away for like 8-9 years, had kids and everything else, and then come back. She's only 31. She's still got years ahead of her, hopefully. And just see that moment when she lifted that belt up, and the tears in her eyes and she was crying. And you know what? I started welling up. I was like, oh my God, I've never felt this way about wrestling before. Never. And I just felt emotions I didn't think I'd ever feel for a wrestling match, for a result before. Especially one that was a favourite as well. But just to finally see her lift, say finally, but to see her lift the championship again, to see her being able to wrestle at Wembley, like this is the stuff that she dreamt of as a kid, and these are the things that just didn't happen. Like, I mean, it's the first major pay-per-view at Wembley Stadium since 1992. So who'd have thought that, one, there'd have been another one at any point, and two, that it wouldn't have been WWE, you know what I mean? And the fact that obviously she didn't choose to do WWE, she chose to do AEW, and then she gets that moment at Wembley to lift that belt. And I just thought, you know what, after everything she's been through, it's just fantastic to see. And that's and that's the only thing I wanted to talk about, because I could do a review and I could talk about every match, I could talk about my favourite match, my favourite this, my favourite that, and I could pick things apart. Like, I know loads of these wrestling pages and groups like to do, especially on YouTube, and all the breaking news, and everyone wants to talk about CM Punk and Jack Perry and blah blah blah. Do you know what? No, like, I want to talk about the one thing ever in the history of wrestling, and I have watched wrestling since the 90s. I watched WCW originally. I don't know the year where I started watching wrestling, probably 96, 97, something like that. But out of everything that's ever happened in a wrestling ring, that is the only time I have ever welled up. And I had tears in my eyes, and I had a couple coming down my cheeks, and I was like, holy crap, I have never ever felt this emotion about wrestling before. And it was just phenomenal. And that's the reason why I wanted to do this. I just wanted to share that little bit of a story with you, just to say, like, the only thing ever to have done that for me was Saraya winning the AEW Women's Championship, and I pray to God she has a good reign, and I hope to keep the belt on her for a good while now. She deserves it. She really does deserve it. I know there's people online bashing her and this, that and the other, and WWE fans, well, they say that, I don't even say the WWE fans, they're just idiots. They're not WWE fans, because I've got loads of WWE fans who don't bash on everything that AEW do. But there is them out there that will crap on anything to do with AEW, especially if it's someone that was in WWE first. It's just like, nah, just enjoy it, man. Like, everyone should be made up that Saraya's won the belts, because it's just one of them feel-good moments in wrestling that it shouldn't have happened, and here we are, and we're celebrating it. Like, why would you not want that? Like, wrestling is phenomenal. Wrestling can make you feel things that nothing else can. Wrestling can be an escape from reality. Like, I've used it a lot, especially at the beginning of this year, which is why this YouTube channel, I decided to put my heart and soul into it, is because I was having such a bad time at the beginning of the year. And so I turned all my focus to wrestling, and it's helped me so much. Like, I've gone back to, like, when I was a kid again. You get an escape from reality, but then there's little snippets of real life come into it, and that was that moment for me, all in. So that's all it was. I just wanted to do a little video to say, like, Saraya is our AEW Women's Champion, and hopefully she has a great reign, and I am absolutely made up, and she made me cry. So there you have it. So I just wanted to just do a little video to reveal that little story. But yeah, so let me know in the comments. Are you excited that Saraya won? What were your feelings when she won? And who do you think her first opponent should be? Will it be Toni Storm or else this coming week, possibly? I'm sure we'll find out in the next couple of days. Dynamite we've got coming soon, Rampage and Collision, all just before we get another pay-per-view this Sunday. So I'll be really interested to see. She suffers. I can't remember the name of the thing that she has now, but where she can't wrestle too many consecutive matches. Because she's told us about it online. I can't remember the name of it. So whether or not she'll actually be able to wrestle at the next pay-per-view, I'm not too sure. But like I say, hopefully she has it for a good while, and she does well with it. That's what I hope for. But yeah, like I say, let me know in the comments who you think first opponent to be. Let me know what your thoughts and feelings were of Saraya becoming the AEW Women's Champion. And if you are just going to bash it in the comments, then don't bother. It's simple and plain. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Don't comment. I don't understand why these wrestling fans go online and just rip into each other's companies. Like, I watch as much wrestling as possible. I watch WWE, only the pay-per-views, because I don't have time to watch Raw and SmackDown, and to be honest with you, the dip in the quality over the years. I watch AEW, I watch Impact, mainly just the pay-per-views again. I watch Ring of Honor, mainly the pay-per-views, the odd weekly show. I watch New Japan. I watch as much wrestling as I can, and I love as much wrestling as I can, and I will be critical of it, but I won't just bash it just because some idiot on Twitter has told me that Raw did 20,000 more views than Dynamite. But there you go. Anyway, it's not about that. It's about Saraya being the AEW Women's Champion. So, like I say, leave me a comment, give us a like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and keep an eye out for more wrestling-related content coming to you soon. Thanks.